Welcome everybody to tutorial number 14. On this tutorial we're going to learn how to turn this evaporator cell we have made into an equipment, a single block equipment, and how to put on let's say flange points, and also how to put on blind flanges. Okay, so let's get started. So all of you should have this evaporator cell made already. Now as you can see that each of them is a different part. So what we need to do is turn this into a single unit, so we can save it as a template and copy it 3 times over. Okay, so let's get started. To do that, go ahead and select the entire equipment. This should also select the grid. Let's shift click that to get rid of it. So our grid is now selected, and under the home ribbon, go to equipment palette, and at the top corner it would say convert equipment. So we're gonna click on that, and this little thing would pop up. It would ask us to select the type of equipment. So this is a heat exchanger. We're gonna choose that and click select and specify the insertion point. So that means when you add your equipment, it's going to ask you at which point do you want to add it at. That's the point it's gonna add it to, so you can snap onto that point. So let's go ahead and snap it to this point. Yeah, why not? And then this little thing would pop up. Sorry, my computer is being a little slow. It will populate eventually. Just give it a second. Okay, now we go. Now it doesn't have a preview because it doesn't really know what it is. So the most important thing here let's go ahead and give it a name. So we call it evaporator cell. Perfect. And now next thing we're going to do is assign a tag. Actually I don't want to do that. I mean, it doesn't really matter here because we're not going to actually use this exact drawing for our main project drawing. And if you click on the properties tab here, you should see there is lots of different things you can specify for it. Don't worry about that, but if you are interested, you can go ahead and fill out all these other things, but I'm not going to worry about it. But what we definitely need to do is save it as a template. So go ahead, click on the template button, and then go ahead and click on that save current setting as template. So we're going to save it as a template. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I have already done it a couple of times, so I'm gonna call mine heat exchanger number 4 and click save. Oh yeah, and do notice the location, so you should be able to find it. Keep that in mind and click save, and then you can pretty much press OK and get out. Now as you can see, we have a actual equipment. Now this thing, the whole thing comes off as an equipment, which is exactly what we want. So right now what we need to do, we need to add at least, I'll show you guys how to add flanges. So we need to add at least couple of flange locations where we can start our piping from, right? So, and that it's gonna be definitely useful. So let's go ahead and quickly do that. So first of all, over here we want 3 points. I don't know exactly how much the design would call for. I just decided that I want 3 sprayers over our the pipe structure here, which I kind of want it centered. So I'll show you how to draw the little lines so we know where to snap onto. We want 2 big ones here, which would go into our heat exchanger, but that's only if there is a heat exchanger, because that very first one is not going to have a heat exchanger, because that one's gonna get the vapor from the boiler. And so on that one we can even put a big input here and a little one here, so we can take the boiler treated distillate out of there. Okay, so let's get started. To do that, let's hide everything except for our grid. Okay, so now all I want is 3 things kind of spaced here at the very top part. So let's go take a look at the top view. Okay, you know what? First I'm gonna move my my axis indicator to the very top, and then I'm gonna click on the top view. Okay, so what I want is three equally spaced flanges in the middle here. So to do that, it's very easy. We know that this is 9,000, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Let's go back to 0. Actually, no, let's stay on structural. And 9,000, so we can divide it by 3, so that would give us 3,000 each way. So let's just draw a line. So again, to draw a line, go back to modeling. You can choose from the draw palette line. Actually, let's choose polyline because that would definitely P line. Okay, so we're gonna start creating there, and I know I want to go 3,000 that way. Let's go 3,000, enter, and then I'm gonna just snap onto there. Nope, it wants to snap onto there. Okay, so let's control left click, and I want perpendicular only. Okay, perfect. Now it's done. Oh, that's right. Now the problem is I want to copy it 3 times, but I don't really want the other part to be copying as well. So here's a quick little what do you call command you can use is start typing explode. If you apply the explode, what it does is now those lines are actually separate lines. So let's try to select that line. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna delete that one, and let's copy this over. Again, to copy, you can start typing copy. Okay, click on copy. It's gonna specify a base point. Oh yes, we're gonna specify that as a base point, and I'm gonna keep on kind of traveling this direction, and I'm gonna choose a certain angle, certain number, just in random, not in random obviously. I'm gonna choose 3,000, enter. Oh, I just realized what I've done. I've only created 2 of them. You know what? It doesn't matter because 2 would be just as good as 3. Okay, so now we have middle points. Actually, let's put them into the 0, 0. So just select the 2 lines and let's put them into the 0 layer so we can actually see against the red. Okay, so let's go back to our regular view. Oh yes, and we also want 2 top ones here, right? Because I know it sticks out about 1 meter. So for the center of the flanges, we want in the middle here, but 500 in, 500 out. So let's just go ahead and draw another one. So we're gonna snap it onto this middle point and just type in 500. And don't worry, I'll show you guys what I've exactly done. And I'm just going to again copy this point and go over there. Okay, so let's use our orbit to show you guys what I've done. So this is exactly what I've done. I've drawn 2 lines at the top so I can attach my the seawater coming in, salt water coming in, those flanges there, just so that I can use the midpoint of this 2 lines here as a snap-on point for our flanges. And this is for the big ones where the what do you call, our vapor's gonna go to the preheater, heat it, and come back out so it can be used again. Okay, so let's get started. So now what we have is our equipment, and the location we want to place our flanges. Okay, so let's go back to home and show all. Okay, perfect. Now you see, that's all I wanted. So now I know where the midpoint of my flanges are gonna be. There, there, and there, and there. I know you can't kind of see it, but you get the point. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, now that we have made this into an actual equipment, if you click on it, you should be able to see a flange. Sorry, add a nozzle thing there. So go ahead and click on that one. It's gonna ask you to specify the nozzle location. So go ahead and snap onto the midpoint of the first line, and that's it. And it's gonna ask you to specify the direction. If you just read it here, specify the nozzle direction by selecting a second point or angles. Okay, we're just gonna select the Z direction. Good. And then this little thing will pop up. If you remember with the first little cylindrical heat exchanger we created on our little platform before, that one we use this little dialog box. So what we want is a straight nozzle there. I don't know what should the size be. 100 millimeter, fine. 100 millimeters sounds good for me. So go ahead, make sure this is 100 and millimeter pressure class. You know what? No idea. And that's it. Press close. Now if you hover over it, you should be able to see your location. That's all. Okay, so let's add the second one again. Select the entire unit, and this little thing would pop up, and click on that, and it's going to ask you to specify the center. I'm going to specify as that, and then it's going to ask you to specify the direction. Just pull toward the Z direction and press enter. Again, make sure this is good, and you can also name your nozzle 1, 2, 3 and whatnot. Okay, go ahead and press OK, and that's good. That we got those two. Now let's go over here. Okay, so there we go. On this one we want the bigger ones because this is where the vapor is going to travel, so obviously we're going to need a bigger flange there. So click on your equipment again and click on the add nozzle button. It's going to ask you to specify the center. Go ahead and snap on that one, specify direction, and on the size we're gonna choose 300 and close. Now as you can see, it's a big one. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our last one. So again, select your equipment, click on the add, specify. I can't even see that, so I really can't see that. So let's use the orbit to go around to the other side so I can see our little red thingy. Okay, so there we go. Now I can see there is our point, and the specified direction, I specified it. Go to change type, make it a bigger one. You guys gotta figure out what size do you think is good for it. Okay, choose that. Okay, so that's perfect. Now we have our flanges. Now the problem is the flanges are just a location, but there isn't anything to connect to, right? So let's go ahead. All of you should have the tool palette here. Try not to close it down. I wonder if you close it down, if you can reopen it by just typing tool palettes. Okay, there we go. There is way to open it. So just start typing tool palette, and lots of things in AutoCAD is just that. Just start typing the damn thing and it will show up. Okay, so first thing we're gonna specify. Okay, so we're gonna specify that direction. Okay, cannot connect parts. Just press OK, and it's gonna ask you for an angle. On this doesn't really matter. Just choose 0, and we're gonna choose our second one. We're gonna choose there. Cannot connect parts. I don't care. And that's that one is done. Okay, let's choose this one. Okay, cannot connect parts. Don't care. See, now our the blind flanges is actually gonna show up in proper size, which is kind of nice. So that's why it's important to use your define your flanges first, even though nothing shows up. Now as you can see, our flanges has shown up. Oh, I've done it upside down. Okay, no, perfect. Now what you can do, if you select your flanges, if you click on this plus thing, oh good God, it's doing that again. So right now it has added it upside down. So let's undo all the way back before we added our what do you call? Oh, there we go. Okay, all of our flange locations are still good. Okay, and our location is good. That's perfect. So let's go add our blind flanges again. Cannot connect parts again. Okay, why is it adding upside down? And we can figure this out. I wanted to add to the bottom bit, but it's adding to the top. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna quickly figure this out and get back to you guys. So see you on the next tutorial, which will be the tutorial number 15, and on that one I will explain what's going on that one. Okay, bye.